I thought you was going to have a fight today.
No, we play nice.
Fresh eyes are the best.
Fresh eyes are the best.
We just went all in, bought a laptop, bought a load of signs, and went for it and leafleted basically. Undercut everyone.
Throw that aside. Who do you want to work with for the next 6 months? Because
Yeah,
actually, I'll get you $5,000 more.
Yeah.
The moment you start to dilute who you are,
That's a big question mark.
they want to know the value that you're going to bring. Why aren't you charging double?
Yeah.
My job is to have really difficult, honest
Yeah.
conversations with you because you deserve it. You're an alcoholic. You've got to admit you're an alcoholic if you're going to recover, right? It's the same in leadership. These problems are your fucking problems. You two are fantastic. I can see why you're successful. I really want you to hear this. If you're an estate agent juggling a separate CRM, a standalone website, and these different marketing and prospecting tools, it's time to see what Iceberg Digital, the #1 operating system for estate agents, can do for you. At Gigs & Co and within the Gigs Group, we use Iceberg, and it's absolutely out of this world. It's a complete ecosystem that makes your agency more efficient and more human focused. We've got AI scouts working behind the scenes, finding the full address details of properties on the market with other agents, matching them to our contact database, and even writing the email outreach. No human can keep up with that, and trust me, it's changed the game for us. So if you're prepared to make big changes to how you work and want to lead the way, just head over to iceberg-digital.co.uk today. And as a listener, use the code GIGSSHOW when you inquire for an exclusive perk on your setup. You're gonna love it. We're on. We have the wonderful Sam Cerrone from EXP and the awesome Mike Dingley from Black and Gold Estate Agents. These two are within how many miles of one another?
7, 10.
Less than that, yeah.
Is he kind of competing?
Well, we don't actually compete, but
Nah.
Mike actually sends me leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will send
How
stuff over.
about I thought you was going to have a
That's it.
fight today.
No, we play nice.
Oh, for fuck's
Yeah.
sake. Okay.
And then I just take the piss out of him every now and then.
Yeah. And when we drove down like that, down the M6 earlier.
They're going for lunch after.
That's nonsense,
They
yeah.
love each other already.
No.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Well, look, you're two very different businesses. Yeah? So two very different businesses. Sam, you're a self-employed agent under the banner of EXP.
Yep.
Building a team.
Yeah.
How
Have
long's
a
it been?
team.
Oh, you have a team?
Yeah,
You're building
yeah.
building it still?
Mhm.
And you've got how many years there now doing that?
So with EXP, 5.5 years, and then when I transferred over to Cerrone Estates under the team model, that's just over a year. Yeah.
So building your team, brilliant. It's going well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You might have seen us somewhere on social media. And Mike,
And this one.
Yeah, I was going to say. So come on then, Mike. How long has it been for you in the estate agency now?
13 years. We've been
13
set up.
years. And he set up a business in a estate agency without any prior knowledge.
Yeah, never set foot as an employed estate agent.
You know, the
before.
amount of phone calls you're going to get now after this.
I don't know. It's a good thing or a bad thing, that is.
Well, we were saying fresh eyes is quite a
I
good
know.
thing going
Yeah.
into this industry because sometimes you can kind of maybe pick up bad habits.
Fresh eyes are the best.
Fresh eyes are the best. So what were you doing before that, Mike?
So my background was I was in construction as a contracts manager. So we had a background of low-level flipping properties. That was our background as a family. And then I went to work for kind of a subcontractor. So I was the go-between foreman and the lads on site. But I was always around property because that's what my dad did. My brother did that as well. And then I got made redundant is the brutal truth. And it forced our hand to do something we planned for years. And we just set up. No experience. I mean, it cringes me now to think about how we got through it. But yeah, that was it. We just set up and started Black and Golds, made this noise, which was Black and Golds.
What was the reason for the name?
My silly ass surname, Dingleys, no one. I mean, I would be no competition for anyone. With Dingles
Dingley's and Co? Dingley's and Co?
Emmerdale, and it's fine.
That's it. It would genuinely be that, wouldn't it? There was not a chance. So we were in New Orleans the year before, and I was on a stag do, and the Saints, which were there in New Orleans, had won the Super Bowl the year before, so everything was black and gold. Their colours were black and gold. My brother and I looked at him and we said, "That looks spot on. Let's just call it that." So we just as
You knew
random
it
as
straight
that.
away.
Yeah, we know nothing about American football. Couldn't name a player.
Brilliant.
It just looked the business.
So
that was
come
it.
completely fresh into the industry. You didn't work anywhere, just went straight into running your own estate agency with your brother?
Yeah, Chris is a partner in it. At the time, Chris was a solicitor, so he had his full-time job.
Yeah.
So he was kind of a silent partner in the background, and I quit everything, relied on she wasn't even my wife at that point, wage, and we just went all in. And few grand redundancy money and just bought a laptop, bought a load of signs, and went for it and leafleted, basically. Undercut everyone. Leafleted. upset everyone.
What was your fee?
I can't. It was awful. We started.
It was like a low fixed fee.
We started anything. We did leaflets that said, we'll cut your fee in half, and it didn't matter if it was.
Mark, I'm
so honestly,
cringing.
some of them were £500. But yeah, no.
But it got your
money.
boards up.
Got my
It
boards.
got clients.
Yeah, got my boards everywhere. So no, yeah.
And what's your fee now?
Better.
Disclose.
Yeah, better. No, better. Yeah, a little bit better.
Fixed fee?
We do a mix. It depends.
Yeah.
So we do a mix. We try to stay around about the 1%. It isn't that it's so competitive. I mean, Samulti rounds particularly there are so many agents. It is. I mean, Shirley High Street, where our main hub is.
Yeah.
Every other month, there's another one open up, and they'll come in and do Will City House for free. So fees have to be very competitive.
Yeah.
So it's an area where there's lots of chimney pots, lots of opportunities, but you can't go in. Sure, the big ones, the bigger properties where it is more bespoke service, that's different. But our bread and butter at the minute is churning those.
And is it an employed culture that you've
Absolutely,
created?
yeah.
Okay, so Sam was already asking the questions.
Yeah,
this lady has got some questions already.
Can I sit here?
Yeah, let's switch. Well, tell us a bit more about your journey, just in case for anyone that's lived under a rock in our industry, they might not know who you are, but you were ex-Countrywide.
Yeah, 13 years.
Take us from there right the way through to where you are today.
2005 as a sales negotiator, or trainee sales negotiator, shall I say. I was just saying to Mike on the way, I didn't actually know really what an estate agent was. But I loved it. I loved the buzz. And then before I knew it, I did 13 years worth at Countrywide, which was Dixon's in the Midlands.
Dixon's.
Yeah, honestly, I thought I'd be, that the area manager that my area
Probably
manager
would have been,
was.
wouldn't you?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I think I didn't really ever look at other jobs around it. It was my little bubble. We kind of said stuff like I was green blood, as sad as it sounds.
Yeah.
And then an opportunity was presented to me to run a business locally in Redditch for what was then a friend. And I ended up doing 2 years there, helping him run his business. And then COVID hit and a few problems hit. And I was sat at home, Mike, with a laptop, and realised that I was running his business from home with a laptop. And that was my light bulb moment.
That was.
Yeah, and then that's when I'd seen a few things on LinkedIn.
You had a couple of light bulb moments though, didn't you? Because leaving Countrywide was the first one.
Yeah, that was because I didn't necessarily want to go. I actually cried my eyes out handing my notice in. But it was kind of like, I can go and run a business now. I can go and learn more of the estate agency world. It was presented to me. I didn't go out for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then your second light bulb moment was in lockdown.
And I'd seen some stuff on LinkedIn, like, I mean, who was Adam Day back 6 years ago? Do you know what I mean? And I kept seeing that there's this conference happening in London, and do you want to earn 100 grand as an estate agent? And I'd be like, shit. Yeah, whatever. And then when it entered my head in lockdown, it's like, hang on, let's go on LinkedIn and let's find out a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
And then following a conversation with Ben and Adam, here I am.
Here you are now.
5.5.
Ben Moore.
Ben Moore, yeah.
So
my
for those of you
sponsor.
who don't know, so in EXP you have a sponsor.
Yep.
Generally speaking, and your sponsor's Ben, and Ben's been around in EXP probably since the inception in the UK.
Yeah, I don't know his number, but I think he's within the first 20. I mean, I'm the first 100, but he was the first.
And I was the man with the beard.
The man with the beard.
Yeah, I mean, his content's brilliant, and I really admire what he's done with his videography and the production, and you can really see that he's got a very clear audience that he kind of targets. But look, my first question to you two is really around the value, the true value in agency. Is it dictated, or is it to the brand, or is it to the agent? So who owns the value? Who would own the value as an agent? Is it the agent, or is it the brand? Because you've got two very different models.
Yeah, from our point of view, it's certainly the Black and Gold brand. That's what we bring. We have customers that will always be our customers. We have customers who will never touch us. And I'm completely aware of that.
Very clear.
We are not everyone's cup of tea.
Okay.
If you're after, we're an authentic agent. I don't think we get everything right, but what you will get is clear communication, authenticity, and if you have seen any of our marketing, we won't just churn out, the professional marketing that is lovely on Instagram and lovely, on all those kind of platforms, but we will take a decision on some of those to get maximum eyes on your property. Get our job, in my opinion, as an estate agent, whether it's cringy, whether it's hard to watch sometimes, get as many eyes on someone's property as you possibly can. The property then should sell itself, and that's our approach. So we have, for us, it's the brand black and gold, very important. We have our customers, and getting brave enough to walk away from customers that are not right for us. Because you soon, after a few weeks, we'll get people, we'll sell them in the front room, and then a couple of weeks and you think, they're not going to be happy with this. And the moan starts. It's being brave enough to say, okay, this isn't probably a good fit for you, and you should go with.
Has that kind of evolved as you've?
Oh, massively. I would never. I was.
Because at the start it sounded like you were going to go after everyone.
I did everything. Yeah. I didn't care. I went after everything. And it's been brave enough and not greed. It's greed, really. I wanted everything. I wanted every board. If I lost a board, even if I thought it'd be an absolute nightmare sale, I would do anything to get it back. Just to have that board out there, and that was my approach. And it's.
Isn't the feeling better though now, walking away from someone?
Massively.
It's a massive.
It's the best feeling ever.
I think that's the sign of success.
100%.
Like the moment you can go, no, it's okay. Thanks very much. Yeah. What about your thoughts on the question in terms of the value of an agency? Is it the brand or is it the agent?
To me, I am the brand. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Tell us more.
My brand will replicate and represent my personality, my ideas. What you see on social media, in my opinion, is me.
Yeah.
So if I'm called out to evaluation, I will sit in that lounge and I'm that person. I'm having the same conversations with that client that I would on social media. So I get a lot of people sort of opening the door and going, "Oh my God, it's you."
Yes.
Yes, of course it's me. And oh my God, you're exactly like you are. So the answer to your question, it's both. I'm the agent, I'm the brand. It comes as one.
And how does that work when you're kind of building a team? Because they can't all be Sam Cerrone.
Yeah. Oh no, the dream is just like loads of minions, isn't it? That's the dream. Yeah. However,
is that the dream in yours as well?
Nightmare.
I want to know more about like sort of your team setup and everything, because I'm really intrigued on it. But mine is, I don't want any more staff members. They can be a headache. The girls that work for me are all my best friends.
And are they all employed or self-employed?
I've got 3 girls employed and one that's just come on as self-employed because I've got other plans for her.
Okay.
So everyone that's come with me along the way, my first person that came on board was my sales progressor, which if she was to hand in a notice tomorrow, I'd consider folding because it's the worst freaking job going.
About sales progression. Let's go on to that in a second. Go on.
So she and I pay her good, and I'm more than happy to tell people I pay her good because she's freaking incredible. But I employed her at my previous company when I had when I was running the independent. I physically interviewed her. I just felt warmth from her. Yeah. I felt like she would talk to the clients the way that I would. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I trained her from scratch. She'd come from lettings in Countrywide. She knew nothing about sales. So I've sort of like trained her right from the bottom. Although she knows more about sales progression now than I do.
Yeah.
So
she's the expert in that.
Yeah, when I told her I was going alone, she was like, "Please let me know when you need someone." But I was like, "No, it's just going to be me selling 3 or 4 a month." But that didn't happen. So when I got to about 50, 60 grand pipeline, I was like, "Liz, I need you like now." So so she then came in. Then the next one was my best friend. She was with me till midnight one night, and I was just like, "Right, you're going home. I've got to do some shitty admin. I've got to go and do some ID checks. I've got to send some contracts." And she was like, "Could I help do that?" So then we had a conversation, and the next thing you know, she come on board.
And how long ago was that?
So that was, I'd been going about 8 months.
And did they join around the same time? So
first, the sales progressor was within 6 months.
And then literally
2 months after my best friend.
So you started to leverage yourself.
Yeah. And then I was like, she's called Tani. So I'm like, "Tani, I'm out on appointments. Do you fancy just picking up the phone?" So instead of just doing admin, do you fancy just picking up the phone? But you got to remember, this is my best friend that we've known since birth. Our moms were best friends.
Okay.
And she's been on that journey with me. So every time there's been a drama in the Countrywide world, she knew everything. She knows my love. So she's kind of like proud to be working with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the next one was when I was on maternity leave. I was about to have maternity leave. And one of my best friends said, "I'm a bit stuck for cash. Can I help out at weekends doing some viewing?" She was a TA at the time. And she got the bug. She's driving to work on a Monday, like negotiating offers. And I'm like, "Tor, you're just a Saturday girl." She's like, no, I'm going to ring them. And she got the bug. And then there you go.
So literally it's kind of just naturally evolved.
Yeah. So I openly say to like my clients, when I'm not about, which is a lot now because I'm here, there and everywhere, the girls that will look after you, it's like dealing with me.
So you've kind of built that familiarity of how you operate through your team.
Yeah.
So they kind of adopt the same principles, the conversations, the way you work.
This is why I want to know more about you, because when I was at the Independent, I remember putting a house on the market or few, and I'd cringe when I'd have to pass it to the sales negotiator. The way that she'd speak to them was like really patronising.
So you're thinking, right, Mike, so what do you do? Do you list the houses, or do you have somebody that does that and then
so our role, I mean, my role has diluted down quite a lot in the last couple of years.
Grown.
Yeah, up until a couple of years ago, I was the valuer. I would look after it to that point, and then I would pass it to a sales negotiator. At the minute now, we have a guy that's joined us 18 months ago, and he is basically a lot. He's better. He's better than me at most estate
that's a good
agents.
thing.
That's it. So he's come in and he's took it to another level. Recruitment's the hardest thing, and what you're saying there. I mean, as far as kind of EXP, is that kind of usual to have a sales progressor and a team around you, or is it?
I remember having a conversation with Adam. I've got to be really careful what I say on here. Yeah. Adam, please don't listen to this. But I remember having the first conversation. I was like, "Can I have like some staff?" He's like, "No." But then after 6 months, I was like, "Well, I need staff, so I'm getting one." I'm sorry, but like I need it. So if I want it, I'm getting it.
Why was it no though?
I think it was really early back
against
then.
the models, kind of.
Yeah, and we were growing, and I think even Adam at the time it was just like, you're an agent. The whole idea is to be personal to the client, and that you go.
So he's
with them
kind
on
of
a
protecting
journey.
the brand in some respects.
Of course,
there.
he is.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, as it evolves,
because that was always my thought, is if there's only capacity.
Yeah, of course it is. And we
for a
still
certain
have
amount.
Holidays and stuff.
You're
going to
be away. You might be ill. You might need to do something with the kids or whatever, and all of a sudden, you haven't got anybody to lean on. So that's how it kind of unfolded for you.
But then everyone then starts talking. They're like, "Sam, what are you doing?" And then you'd speak to someone else, and I'd be like, "How are they doing those figures? Like someone's running off 150 grand pipeline just off themselves." No, they're not. But they've got people in the background doing the viewings for them. So
partners, husbands, wives,
and there's loads
friends.
of that in EXP. Loads of
just a little bit of a lean on. Yeah,
loads of like couples together. I mean, I couldn't work with my husband, but friends.
So
family members.
when people contact you, let's say one of your properties are available at the minute. Yours will go through to your office.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if someone phoned in, they'll go through to your office. Is that the same for you, or does it go to like a central place?
It is now, because I've hit the milestones where I can brand under my own name, which is Cerrone Estates. But initially, anything that would come in from Rightmove and Zoopla, and still is for any agent joining, you have a call centre. But then literally they put you on hold and they divert it to T-Mobile. And then if you don't pick up the phone, they'll take a message, and that message is with you within 30 seconds.
Okay.
So oh my God, I loved it. So for going from working in an office all day, I'd be like, I've got a lunch date with a friend, and I've got the school run, and I've got a few viewings. So I'd message Moneypenny in the morning and just be like, "Can you just tell clients that I'm in back-to-back appointments? I'll come back to them as soon as I can." Yeah.
Big shift.
Yeah, amazing shift. But yeah, big. And literally learn on the go.
Yeah. Yeah. And because that's different, isn't it, for you guys?
Very different, yeah. So we operate what is, I mean, I always think with Black & Gold, we're kind of in a weird position. We're kind of, if there was a kind of a playground, we're certainly not sitting with the self-employed guys, but we're also not sitting with, the independents or the corporate. We're kind of sitting on the swings on our own, I always say. We're kind of in the middle.
I admire how you've built it, Mike. I really do, because I think you've got a balance of both.
I hope we have. I think there's as much as I.
So you're not in the high street with everybody else.
We have a high street office. Yeah. But our approach is, as far as marketing, I think the handcuffs are off with us with marketing. I think that's important. And I think that's, if you look at kind of the independent, the self-employed model. I mean, if you look what Sam does, it's wonderful. It's interesting. It's engaging. It's
freeing, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. And I believe we deliver that. Yeah. And more. I think we're good at that.
But as a brand,
that's it. But I think our processes are really robust. I think that is something that we do well. I've talked about sales progression before, and you just talked about your sales, who is wonderful. She's very, very good. It's where I think we're really strong, and I think that's where
the difference of a sale going through or not.
Yeah,
I'm more so now. Mm-hmm. Like I would say, in recent years, that's become a really tough challenge, and you need someone that is robust.
It's the toughest, isn't it? It's the toughest challenge at the minute.
Keeping the deal together,
you get battered.
It's better than a new deal, isn't it?
But I think it's personality. I couldn't sales progress. I know a lot about it, but I'm not patient enough. You need a certain person
It's
to do
the
it.
patience.
Do you think agents that are doing their own sales progressing are actually then diluting their strengths?
Yeah.
I can't comment for everyone, but for me, but I'd be wasted.
Because it's almost like you've got to have a Swiss Army knife of different skills, doing your own admin, doing your sales progression, doing your own marketing, and so on and so forth. Is that where, I know you've kind of got a slightly different model from the regular EXPer, but is that where the culture of a team works?
I mean, I said to you, I believe that even we've got 3 sales progressors. One that works from home. We've got 2 that work in the office. We've had to move them from our Shirley office, which are busy
So you've got
office.
how many? 5?
I've got 3 sales progressors.
3.
That work through.
2 that work from home.
1 that works from home. One that works from home. 2 that
2
work.
Right. Okay.
And so, but we had to move them from the Shirley because the Shirley office is, like I say, it's a loud. The phones don't stop. It's a loud.
Yeah.
There's some big personalities in there. That's no good if you're sales.
How many are in the team there?
In total we've got 14.
Okay, so big one big team.
Yeah, in and out a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
High
people in and
volume.
out. That's right. That includes a lettings team, so we've got 3 lettings. But yeah, we've got that's a busy office, and since we've moved the 2 sales processes to our quite a lot hub, which is towards just outside, a couple of miles away. That's how the sales progresses.
That's the
opinion.
best decision you could have ever made.
Yeah, quiet, considered.
Can just get on with what they need to do.
They've got to have difficult conversations. They're going to get yelled at. They're okay giving it a little bit back. And just that's how the sales progress, in my opinion. Doing it, I believe, on the hoof, as much as it sounds lovely.
Well, you're in chains, right? You get involved in chains and you can tell when someone's got someone who knows what they're doing versus someone who doesn't answer the phone.
Yeah.
It's the same with a conveyancer or a solicitor, isn't it? The old school solicitor that doesn't pick up the phone, doesn't ever want to talk to anyone, does everything by fax.
Yeah.
But it's like everything's evolving so fast. And what I'm hearing is, though you've got 2 very different models, you've evolved your own models as well, which is really interesting. What's it like for you, though, to have all of those people? And do they kind of report into you? Do you have like a management structure? How does it work?
We have a daily meeting, a morning meeting every day. So the phones to Black Girls don't come until 9:30. 9 to 9:30 every day. The whole team sits
9
down.
to 9:30.
9 to 9:30. We sit down and we have the morning meeting, and that is everything. And I'm in on most of those. 4 out of the 5 in the week, I'll be in on those.
And do you chair it or
no? So we have 2 kind of managers. I have my sales manager Lee, and I have a lettings manager James, and they're in charge of that. It's kind of the most talking is the sales negotiator talk, because they're doing most of the work, but they run that, and I sit in on that and listen to it and complain and moan and probably cause issue. But that's every day. That's how I get an update, and I'm a sad case. I want to know everything. I want to know everything, and I'm in it, every single day. So that's how I keep up to date with what's going on.
The morning meeting, is that more about, sorry?
No, this is a conversation. So you just go for it.
Is that more about what's happening, or is it more about opportunities? Is it a chance to praise somebody and make them better, or do you do that separately? Or
it's an update from the day before. We are a relatively high volume company. There's a lot
that's what I was thinking. That's a lot to go through in half an hour.
That's it, yeah. It is. It's a rattle through.
It's high level stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust involved. We trust it, and again, recruitment's hard. It's getting the wrong people, and I believe we've got a very strong team now. You look only 12 months ago, it was weaker than it was, and before those and
what changed to evolve?
New staff.
Is it recruiting better, differently?
We had an opportunity.
There'll be people watching this that have got a similar size operation or even bigger, that would have a familiarity with like a structure of a morning meeting at the start of the day.
Here I am with my best friends running my business.
She'll be here, there and everywhere. There's no structure. No structure. Right? And then there's loads of structure. And it can work.
Of course it is.
But to be clear, I'm not a structured guy. We improved massively when we had an opportunity a few years ago. We got off the back of COVID. We did very well. We went kind of from a very small agency to a small and medium-sized agency. But I believe our quality dropped because we just all of a sudden had all these sales, and I believe our quality dropped. So I spoke to the mortgage broker we used at the time, and I said to him, I was like, who's the best estate agent you know? And he gave me a name, and he worked at the time at I have to be careful actually. He worked at a corporate. And I reached out to him, and he'd never done any auditing or anything like that, and I just contacted him. I said, how do you feel about coming into my office for a week? I'll pay you, and just sit there and just look at us. Because like our background wasn't, I'd never sat in a Dixon's or anything. So we got someone.
That was what I wanted to question you earlier. Where have you got your techniques to do the managers' meetings?
From this, before that, it was more Wild West. Let me tell you, it was mad. It was madness. So we We brought him in, and he sat there, and he just tore us a new one at the end of the week. But he also said, you know, as he went, he said, look, if you ever have an opportunity, I'll be open. At the time, I was like, I'm never going to afford you, you know, no chance. It was lovely. He said, you're in the race, you just haven't got trainers on, was his exact words. And I was like, that hit me. I was like, okay. And he put some simple systems, as much as you can do in a week, and improve things. And then we had opportunity.
What a refreshing thing to do.
Well, I think it's very grown up. It's very mature,
isn't it?
To be able to reach out to somebody locally.
I wonder how many estate agents would do that in fear of ego.
I'd like to think the good ones do.
Yeah.
Because actually we can all learn off one another.
That's
what I learned with joining EXP.
It's fresh eyes to the industry, but also fresh eyes on your business.
Yeah.
Because I think, generally speaking, you don't see it for what it really is.
Yeah. I think if it was... I never struggle with the ego thing. I think if it was something like, if it was business in general, I probably wouldn't have been big enough to do that. But I could kind of hide behind the fact, well, I was an estate agent. At this point, I was 8 years ago, I still don't know what I'm doing. And I was able to hide behind that. And since we got since we had that eyes on it, and then since that, we have recruited that guy, and he now is with us. We had the opportunity to kind of where someone left us, and it opened up.
So he's the sales manager. That's
it. So we had a chance where I had a wage that kind of went that I could have replaced with like for like. Or I could say, well, I'll tell you what, we could pivot. And I was on holiday. It was my mum's 70th. We were on holiday with my brother in Greece, and we just said, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Best hire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
really. You know, and that's
get the right person, pay them the right money, give them the clear responsibilities.
It was a huge move for us, and that changed everything because that changed a lot for us. Systems, it was just unbelievable systems.
Well, I'm interested because there's a lot of bashing between self-employed and employed, and it probably widens slightly when you've got maybe a corporate culture, as well as the fully independent solo agents. And what I'm hearing, and I've had a lot of these conversations, they're all slightly different, is how different each and every person runs their business, and actually how it works for them as well. Because what are you thinking now when you listen to Mike? What sort of goes through your mind?
It's mad that you've said that, because I'd love to be able to go into someone else's estate agency and look at it and see whether I can help them. But I think it still needs to represent you and your personality, and I think that's what you've done so well, Mike. That's why I've always sort of like engaged with you and enjoyed watching your content and stuff like that. It's all, I wouldn't have known you've done that in the background. So you've got someone in the background helping you, but it's still you. Yeah. It's still running it the way that
that's
you do.
That's really important though, isn't it?
But I think some people are not grown up enough to be able to do that, and they'll just bury their head in the sand.
What do you think that is?
Whether that's negative thoughts, whether they think that they're right.
Is that
old-fashioned way of looking at it sometimes?
It's fear of judgment as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
everyone fears that. A lot of people fear that. Just getting over that, that's massive, isn't it? Being able to go.
I think coming over into, we briefly spoke about this on the way here, but in Countrywide, for example, like you have this little bubble and you have your area manager, and then it's like that's who you go to with any of your worries.
Yeah.
When you come out of it and you're actually running a business, you need other people around you. You need to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, but that help you to be able to grow. So my social media guy is like one of my best friends. My mortgage advisor is one of my best friends. So we're in the same industry, but we all run businesses very differently, and we help one another.
Yeah, you collaborate.
But you understand the frustrations.
Yeah.
So that's what you've probably got from this gentleman coming in, is he understands where you're coming from and he just wants to make you better.
Have you ever, because you sounds to me like you have surrounded yourself with people that you know extremely well.
Yeah.
Yet we're in a pretty tense industry. It's an emotional industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of things can go wrong, and there could be a lot of, I suppose, things that go off, if you like, on a daily basis. I'm just imagining.
And that's just work. Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever had a really difficult, or had to have a difficult conversation with a friend in your business because maybe things aren't working out?
I'm really sorry to be boring, but no.
But there's probably a reason why, and I'm just going to try and find it.
Don't get me wrong, I feel really bad with the girls sometimes because I feel like I'm stretching them. Do you know what I mean? And you might be able to comment there, Anya, you've been in the industry long enough. There's always something to do.
Yeah. So
you could finish at 6 o'clock, but you could start something else. So we always say that the to-do list just gets longer and longer and longer. So I do feel like I'm stretching them. And bless them, they'll be like, oh, I got speaking to so-and-so. They'd love to be an estate agent, like everyone flipping says to you.
Yeah.
And I batter them down. No, they're not right. No, they're not right.
What is it that you when you say they're not right, what are they not right?
I don't even know. I go on feeling. I go on gut.
So you trust your instincts?
I need to look someone in the eye. I need to know the way they talk to me is the way that they'd speak to a client.
Yeah.
There needs to be respect there. So I had a staff member once that I don't think this certain individual liked that I was going to get my nails done or I was popping to get my hair done. Well, sorry, love, I've had 15 years worth in corporate where I've been handcuffed.
Yeah.
It's my business and I'll do that and I'm not being judged for it. Whereas my other girls respect that because they see me working till midnight at night.
Yeah,
but they also have the flexibility. So if there's anything on with the kids,
it works both ways.
100%. I wouldn't do something that I wouldn't let them do, vice versa, if that makes sense.
So how difficult is it to build a culture in your model? And if you were to observe everybody in the EXP network, has that been quite a big challenge for people?
In what way?
Well, I think when we started, we talked about your personality and
Yeah.
that trying to get people into that sort of space where they can deliver how you would do it is the bit that I'm getting my head around. Whilst, a more corporatized employee culture, this is how we do it. This is the process. This is the way forward. How have you how is that for you?
I find it quite natural.
So it's more natural
than
a challenge.
Yeah. And if it feels natural to me, then it's right.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
Does it?
I think a lot of people get, especially in our industry, I think there's a temptation that you have to do things a certain way. And actually, I think what you're doing is breaking the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's because you like to break the rules.
Okay, yeah.
Might be a fucking guess there, but I think I'm fairly accurate. But I think you also like people that break the rules too.
100%. I've got a lot of respect for them.
And that actually, that stretches them as well, in terms of that they've got the freedom, responsibility and the trust to go and do that. And I think where people struggle to build culture, which is where I was going, in more of, or any model maybe, is that freedom's limited.
Yeah.
And flexibility is limited. And I think there's a give and take in what you've done, which means there's a win-win in there.
That's how I feel.
But I think you get better people from that.
You do.
I've said to my guys for a little while, I don't want anyone that needs to be told what to do. I want you to come to me if you need me. I'm always there. In fact, that's me. I'm a mentor, not a coach.
Yeah.
I'm there for you. But I shouldn't have to be there to give you a kick up the arse. Or I shouldn't be there to...
They've got to be able to think on their feet and be able to do it and make mistakes.
I don't want a corporate culture of people that need to be told what to do. And if you're not there, guess what? Nothing happens. They don't do the thing that they need to do. So I was just really intrigued before we came on air today.
Well, that's where it says a lot when all my girls work from home. So that comes a lot with trust.
And for you don't need an office for people to come into. How do you keep that culture running though when everyone's separate?
I couldn't stand the thought of a client walking through the door.
Especially having done your hair.
I mean, no, it's not that.
I've got a picture. I'm going to share that one. She was she's getting the tongs out earlier on. Kirsty Franks, you know that you were guilty of that as well.
She'll probably get me on that one.
I did say Mike might want to borrow it, but I might need to borrow it. But go on, carry on.
But no, I think it really goes on trust. I know when they're working. They all work from home.
But it's outcome, isn't it? Rather than output.
I always say, as long as I have no moaning clients, then I'm happy. And if they want to leave an hour earlier, an hour and a half earlier, it's absolutely fine as long as the clients are happy.
Yeah, but I'm with you on this because I think it's natural. And I think it's natural to want people around you that are like you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good thing.
But you can also learn off each other. Like we were talking about the sales progressor. We're just about to have such a phenomenal year, like just close to 150 grand more this year than last year.
Wow.
And we've sold less units. So I'll grill you on your fee later because you stand strong on your fee.
Well,
you shouldn't be doing cheap fees.
That
honestly.
Page, yeah.
So less units, but we've made a lot more money.
Well, just on the fee bit then, tell us what you've done in terms of saying, well, look, actually, we had to work a lot harder for a lot less last year. What is it you've changed? I've
stood strong and know that I'm worth every single penny. So, for example, if somebody comes to us from another agent, my fee is going to be at least 0.5% more than what it would be normally. So I'd normally like around 1%.
Okay.
But if they're coming to me from another agent and they haven't been successful and they're not happy, then sorry, you've got to pay extra.
Yeah.
Do you ever have, and I do this, do you ever have kind of like a decision where you say, well, okay, if this particular property is in and this is a brutal point of view, if it's on a particular through road, well, I'm going to take a view on that.
You're thinking of your border.
100%.
Yeah.
It is. It's that ebb and flow of and time of year as well. So, you come into a time of year now, and, I know my competitors. Well, all of a sudden, I know, they're very good.
But is that more important than the actual client itself?
It's not more important.
Right, let's say they're on a lovely through road, they probably know that you want the board up.
Yeah.
If they're that kind of profile, and they're going to try and beat the shit out of you on your fee.
It might do, but it gives value to you as a company.
So it's a strategic.
There's no negatives. There's no negatives. From what, again, you're selling the house, and it's another thing to help sell.
Is it a dangerous game when you and I mean this respectfully, because we've all done it. We've all wanted the business, and you want to win, right? And I think there's a dangerous territory to get into there, because sometimes you're winning at the cost of something.
Oh, absolutely. But I think there's a little bit at the minute. Again, I'm going against the grain.
No,
I think all you hear when you hear the advice to agents is, do not move on your fee. Do not move on your fee. Have these people? What are these people? Are they currently running an agent in this market? It's. I am flexible. I'll be honest.
I was just about to say I'm flexible. So in regards to the board, I get it.
Yeah.
That's my countrywide mind.
Yeah.
I'll sit there with the client and I'll look them in the eye. Have I got on well with them? Do I want to help them?
Yeah.
And I might do a deal then.
Yeah.
And I'll look at it. Are they going to recommend me to someone else?
Yeah.
Do I actually want to work with them for the next 6 months?
Yeah.
Do I feel like I've connected with them? Then I'll do something for that person.
But there's the gold.
Yeah.
They're the questions that I would ask my client.
Yeah.
Because whatever I charge you is irrelevant. Do you want to work with me or not? Do you believe that we're going to get you to your outcome or not?
And that's where I've been really bolshy this year. I'll literally look somebody in the eye and say, choose your agent, not based on fee, but who you feel
100%.
who you feel will get the best sale price.
Yeah.
Because don't choose it over 500 quid or £1,000, because actually I'll get you £5,000 more.
Yeah.
And then throw that aside. Who do you want to work with for the next 6 months?
Yeah.
Well, you know Gatesy, right?
Yeah.
And you must know Simon Gates. Who doesn't know Simon Gates? I love the boy. But years ago, we worked together when he was in an employed role.
Yeah,
and he
I love this
invested in me
story.
separately. Like, is that out of his own? So he's had to earn his own money to pay for the session. It wasn't cheap, bless his little cotton socks, but a great investment, improved his conversion rates, all of those different things. But it was the fact that what I was trying to instill in Simon is that, do you really understand the value that you bring to someone? And I think what you just said, I get $5,000 more. Most agents don't know where they start the negotiation process and where they end it with the average sale. So in other words, on average, we negotiate, and one of the clients I mentored was over £30,000 on average for a sale. And if they didn't know that, they're devaluing what they do. Mm. So knowing your statistics, knowing the stories which can connect you with your future clients are actually more important than the negotiation on the fee.
I feel so. For example, don't you find that anyone that wants to batter you down on your fee, they end up being the worst?
They'll batter you down on your process.
Yeah, the best clients are the ones that don't even ask what your fee is, and they've asked you when you can get your photos done.
But I look at your brand and I look at yours, and I think the reason why I've invited you on is because I'm really impressed by what you do. So if I was in your location, I'd be inviting you both out to come and see me. Sam's thinking, well, you'd give it to me. And Mike's thinking, well, actually, my guy's going to go out there and do the business. But the point I'm making is that I think a lot of people have already bought into you before you arrive.
100%, especially when you've got a social media brand.
Yeah. Like what you've done.
Yeah, it's really interesting that people, like what I said earlier, there are people that will be our clients and not our clients.
Yeah.
So it brings me into the kind of interesting, at the minute we're in a funny position now with that second hub office.
Yeah.
The little area that's sat in, and you'll know around things, I've had feedback that our marketing doesn't particularly resonate with that area. We've had I asked a lot. They feel that the stuff we do a little bit, and this isn't obviously across the board, but it's a little bit, they're always doing those stupid videos, or they're wasting their time. They're not paying attention to sales. And I think the perception is that our marketing, the phones are ringing in the background, well, our lives
They think you're dancing at the front.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't made a decision yet. What do you do? Do you stick to your guns and you say, no, this is us, we're going to stick to that? Or do you just pivot a little bit and do you say, okay, in this area, we're going to water this down and change?
Don't change who you are. Is it making you money, that branch?
It's at the minute
it's a hub.
I've only taken it on properly as an agent in the last 6 months, and it's gone up 100%. We've done very well, but it wasn't doing a great deal before. But if we're going to get to that next level, there's a couple of kind of market leaders around there. You could either sit off the back of them, as we all know. You sit off the back of them, you get 35% of their stock because they can't sell, and you just slowly pick up and chip away. And we would be, because our processes are good, we will sell the places. We know what we're doing. We know. I live in the area.
But if you go down that route, you're gradually going to build your market share.
Absolutely, that's it. You do
and
that,
and you're doing it on who you are.
That's it. So it's a decision of whether you just go.
It's
you
really,
meet it head on.
Really interesting one, because I think the moment you start to dilute who you are,
that's a big question mark.
I think it is, because you're sending mixed messages. I was saying to you before we sat down that one of the biggest. So when I started gigs, 6 years, 7 years, it was just Gigs and Co. It's my business, driven, how clear. Started partnerships, which was great, and they all do it their own kind of way. So as a brand, we're very mixed. And I said to you, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be becoming one brand, one clear vision. This is who we are. These are our values. This is what's important to us. This is what we're all about. Do you want to use
us or not?
Absolutely. Do you want to use us or not? And in fact, the clarity, it's already, I mean, we haven't done it yet. So we're like halfway through the conversation and actually going to the other side, which, or maybe I shouldn't be sharing this.
Go for it.
But I am. But we're doing this because I see the future in the areas that we're just talking about, which is, if I wanted you to come and work with me, I'll do everything that you don't want to be doing to release you to do what you're great at. And actually, I think that authenticity and that realness about who you are will attract the people that appreciate that. And they want you. And there's going to be, because you're in quite high volume, high density areas, I think you're going to do extremely well by not diluting what's made you fucking successful.
And be proud of it.
I've done the dilution, and if I could wind the clock back and just have one brand, I'd do it tomorrow. And that's me.
Has that helped your thought process?
You're going to watch me now dilute it down.
He's going to dilute it down.
He didn't listen to a thing he said.
But to be honest, you may well make it. I mean, we've been successful, so it's not a case of like, I look at the numbers and it doesn't work. But we can't really scale because of the structures that we've put in. And actually, if we had a Sam Cerrone working in one of the partnerships, how do we help Sam build a business with us properly, where she feels she can do it with the support?
But her way.
Exactly,
My way.
I love people to be their individual self, because I believe, and Kirsty said this, not to bloody name check her twice now, once for the thongs.
You need to meet her.
Straighteners.
Straighteners, yeah.
Once for the straighteners. But the other one, when she said, company brand attracts, personal brand converts.
Okay.
And I love that. So in your brand, you've got your company brand, and it's so bloody clear that any interruption of that, unless it's an evolvement, I would be cautious of.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about turning completely on its head. It's just
pivot.
Yeah, just ever so slightly more flex. I don't know, but
I just think sometimes you just got to take it away. Is it making you the money that it needs to make you? And if it isn't, then that could be you. That could be your answer.
Yeah. What's the market like in your area?
It's tough.
Tough?
We'll have our best year we've ever had by a mile, but I don't think that's because of the market. I think that's because we've had a vast improvement last year. But it's tough. Sales progression is tough. Conversations are tough. It's clients are stressed, and it's about it's never more applicable to make your clients feel heard, whether that, because there are some absolute shit shows going through, and sometimes it's no one's fault, and it's hard. So I look at my sales progression, that I think selling initially is relatively simple at the minute, as long as things are priced correctly. If we're pricing correctly, not just on my house, and if you sell correctly, bang, it'll go. But it's sales progression.
That we've got like vendors living in the world of 2021, 2022. And you've got buyers being like...
They're in 2026.
They're in 2026, or making up their own little minds. So we've got like this major battle in the middle.
So how do you combat that, you two? What's your approaches to that? Because that is a fair share.
I think Mike's just made the point of it's so price sensitive.
Yeah.
It's about going up.
But how do you get vendors to see it? So if people are listening to this, this is a big part of what I teach agents to do, but I'm fascinated to know how you tackle that. So,
well, this is where
the two ways agents get houses on the market: a low fee, high price.
Well, that's why evaluation's so important. It's not just about getting the valuation right; it's about thinking about your relationship with that client for the next 6 months. Because if you're giving them all, you're educating them, but they're not listening, and it's going in one ear and out the other, and they want to do what they want. To me, that's just setting everything up for disaster. So Simon Gates actually gave me a stat, and I think it's something like 35% of people are now selling with a second agent.
Yeah.
which I think is really high, and it hasn't been that type of market for years.
Yeah.
So I've sat down with my girls and said, vendor care, I think, is so important, because if they're not getting it, they're going to leave us. They'll then go and do the reduction of 25 grand with the next agent, and then they'll fucking sell it. So that's why I'll take advantage of if somebody's coming to me from another agent now, I'll go in at 1.5%. And it's amazing, Mike, because they barely bat an eyelid. Because when people get their
they've
first...
tasted bad.
Well, this is it. You get your 3 agents out, and they think they're choosing their agent based on fee. They're then been stung 4 months later, normally 2 months later, but they can't get out their freaking contracts for another 2 months.
What do you think of contracts then?
They're fucking bullshit.
So you think zero?
To me, they're just causing havoc for the staff in the office. Do you do contracts?
Don't know what to say now. It's bullshit. We'll typically
we do contracts, but
Yeah,
I'll do 8 weeks.
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
I do 8 weeks.
It's more of if we're going to invest in
100%.
Absolutely. We do between 8 and 12 we do, and it depends what we're going to throw at it marketing-wise for money.
It's long enough to decide whether that relationship works, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not only for us, but for them as well.
For sure.
I can't stand the thought of somebody being
unhappy.
forced to use us because there's a contract.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I hate
with
that. So some of our local ones,
it's not beneficial to anyone, is it?
like 13 to 16 weeks plus a 28-day withdrawal.
Yeah.
But then what happens is the client's so frustrated that all they just want is an agent to sell it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing when you go out and see someone that's been on with another agent, they won't be asking you your fee. They just want it sold.
So they get to meet you.
Yeah.
They'll go, I'm going to pay you more, Sam. And then you go, well, I'm going to hand you over to somebody else. Is that a challenge?
It was initially, because I think I struggled with the whole I've set up the business to
Do you
be
like
just
to control
me.
it?
Yeah. So I think it's what you present. So I try and present my social media to show my goals as much as possible.
I've seen that.
And I think you do that really well as well. Like,
that
it's about your team.
That first onboarding is so. Like, I had a girl that did that before.
What was it as an onboarding?
So
customer?
I would go and value the property.
Yeah.
Win the
What
work,
happens next?
pass them over. We had a girl that worked for us, and she was very charismatic. She was wonderful, and she would be the first voice they would hear then. So I trusted
but
that.
you talk of her very proudly in the appointment. That's what I do.
That's right. And now we have
But I think that's
Amy,
important for someone listening to this who does take the listing or the client. They win the instruction or the trust, whichever way you want to call it, and then they're not involved after that. It's actually more about empowering the people that they're going to be passing them on to.
Well, if you're still employed in a house on the market, would you still oversee it when they're
myself?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. So I at the point of valuation, I pass it to Amy, who onboards them, which we say is getting all the media, whether it's organising the media guys to go out, photos of floor plan, the EPC. Then it's passed to a negotiator, overseeing the whole process. We have a role which is my sister-in-law. So Laura has been with me most of the journey. So she came again, not an estate agent background.
Yeah.
She came and we her role is vendor care, and the only thing, her main job of the company is just touching base with them. So it's almost someone for them, the vendor, to tell
your
tales.
retention must be quite good then.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it. It's just making people feel heard. So even if they're having a terrible time, and if they want to have a moan, so say if we do viewings on a Saturday, and our sales negotiator hasn't got around to the feedback till 4 o'clock on Monday, whatever, because chaos sometimes happens.
Mondays are the worst.
That's it. So Laura's going to touch base with them every week and just say, "How you getting on?" And it's easy for them to have a moan about the negotiator, Laura.
Yeah.
And Laura's never going to bollock anyway. It's not her way, but it's just someone that's got eyes on making.
So
our
she's
clients feel
kind of
good.
she's in charge, if you like.
Just tell someone to who the tales get told to, basically. Just look, I'm not. So it just means we've got
feedback.
We've just got our eyes on it. So it's radically reduced people coming off the market, even if they're having a nightmare. If they're not getting the viewings. They've had 10 people not turn up.
With that stat you were just saying, Gatesy shared with you, 35% go to the next
agent.
agent.
He's going to be watching this, go to 32 or something.
Yeah.
It's around 35.
Yeah, that's all right. He loves a stat.
Yeah.
But that's combating something
That's
just showing you that some vendors are going on the market at their price and not the agent's price. That's where like a Taylor's have gone out or a Countrywide have gone out to basically just get to get the instruction.
Yeah.
And not actually with the end result of I actually want to sell it, because they just go back to the office. I did it. There's an instruction, put it on the board, right, honk the horn, I'm off to get my next instruction over to you.
And then nothing really happens. Especially now.
Yeah.
Because the list is incentivized to go and put it on the market,
that's
not
what
to sell it.
Not to sell it. And that's the problem.
And then that's why they overvalue the houses.
But going back to sort of how it would work with me is we set up a WhatsApp group. So every single person that comes on the market, they have a WhatsApp group.
I like that.
Yeah, so
we do that.
I'm in it. So I even say, even though I'm out and about all day, I oversee everything.
How many appointments are you out on a day then? On a general day?
It's changed this year because of me being here, there, and everywhere with helping agents come on board. But I do around about 10 to 12 a week, which is normally spaced out over 3 days.
So valuations?
Valuations, yeah.
And then you spend the other part of your time...
Admin in the evenings.
And then bringing agents in.
Bringing agents in, meeting them. That's obviously...
Is that quite a big area you're focused now?
Oh, God, yeah.
So are you kind of looking to gradually...
I've done this job 20 years.
So you're looking to gradually bring yourself away from that?
Yeah, I think...
That part of it.
I love my brand.
But you want to build on the brand.
Oh, I want to build on the brand. Not necessarily... I don't want to bring agents under me unless there's the odd right one. But if I can go up and down the country and help people get them out of the rat race and...
When you look back at that rat race, what's the first thing that you think of? Because it's different for you, because you've come in sort of without any of that background.
Yeah. It's quite emotional, really, because I was young. You don't know any different. Personality-wise, I love banter. I love like what I can see comes in from your office. And looking back, some of the best days were in our offices, the banter, the jokes.
I agree.
Which actually, believe it or not, when you then get on the phone to negotiate that offer...
Do you miss that bit?
I don't now, but I think that's because I'm a mum of 3 children and, do you know what I mean, and a husband, and a lot more goes on. Your key values change, don't they, as you get a little bit older?
Yeah.
For people in their young 20s, I think it's some of the best years of their life. And I think you learn.
What made you emotional about that, thinking about that?
Because it's mad that I want to get people out of that world when actually
they
were some of the best years of my life.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until you start seeing... I mean, I've got friends that are still there now and they say, Sam, it's not as it used to be. It's so manipulated.
Yeah.
The conversations, I mean, I remember walking in one day and I was a branch manager of a really successful office that I'd wanted for years. And there was just a new guy there. And I rang up my area manager and was like, who's this guy? Oh, he's your new neg. Hadn't interviewed him, didn't know anything about him. He's like, would you train him? You need someone else. Okay. He then goes out the back on day 2. He's sharing his wage that I don't know nothing about with one of my other negs. And he's on more money than her, yet she's freaking amazing. And I don't know nothing about this guy. I then get her giving me grief. And then I get on the phone to my area manager going, this is going on. Well, you're a branch manager, Sam. You've got to deal with it. It's part of it. So it was a little bit later on in life where you're like, this is bullshit. This is manipulation.
Because you didn't know anything different.
Didn't know anything different. I never
until
looked for another job.
Until you opened your eyes.
Until,
off you go. There was a lot of people in those places now.
They're still there now.
Do you find that maybe, again, you're probably guessing a touch because having not been in it, but you get the picture.
Yeah.
Big corporate model, probably about the life insurance and the mortgages and all of those companies. It does feel to me like
CCS.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Have you ever heard of them?
No.
I mean, we
I mean, they're 3 times the amount that what people would charge, and you would get bollocked in a morning in a morning meeting or in a monthly review if you haven't referred.
So it's a real value shift.
Well, I remember sat there in an appointment thinking, who can I get away with putting them with? You know, like the clients that are just like, yes, Sam. You know, you're like, I'll do your paperwork for you. I'll make the phone calls for you. But then if you've got somebody shit hot, like, actually, I can't put them with their solicitors because they're just going to give us grief because they're going to see through it all. I mean, how bad's that? And they do it to today. You must
so
use
is that where it's changing?
It's not about the client.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you've got some people in the industry that they'll do it 9 to 5. They're getting their piss up money for the weekend. Do you know what I mean? They've got their holidays booked. They don't really care. I don't know. It's more about socialising with their friends in the evening, but they don't want to do it as a career. But then you've got some freaking individuals there that put their heart and soul into it.
And they just don't know.
And they're there from 8 in the morning and they're not seeing their kids and they're not picking up the kids from school.
They're not really appreciated.
And they're not. And then the area managers are so manipulated. It's unbelievable.
Steph Walker loves to talk about the area managers in
the
court.
The area managers.
I was
cringing.
I was one.
But back then,
yeah.
What's really cringing is you see these young people like thinking the area manager's like fucking God.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you start seeing through it all.
It's a hard one for being in those environments when they were at their best.
Yeah. That they were. And the training back then, years ago, was absolutely incredible.
So let's touch on training. Because you've not, in the nicest possible way, got any of the experience, but you went and got someone who does know what they're doing, in a sense, and bring them in for fresh eyes. Do you guys do training?
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, before, I mean, we...
Because a lot of agents don't, by the way.
Yeah, early days, We did some good sales progression training.
I wish I was there. We should see some of this.
But the one thing we did,
I love it.
Yeah.
The one thing we did do very well was sales progression earlier, because my brother was a property solicitor at this point.
Right.
So he used to sit them down, and my sister-in-law was the early sales progressor. So she's wonderful at sales progression. I mean, she's now come out of it. She does the
What's it about your area? Everyone's fucking related if you work with each other.
Maybe that's
Are you two related?
That's
just out of
the most brummy podcast going, isn't it? Jesus.
I've been thinking about ideas of what to do outside of work. There you go.
It's not Estate Agent Showdown. It's like Estate Agent the Incest.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, we'll on to another subject.
Yeah, so back to my sister-in-law.
The training with his sister-in-law through your brother.
Yes, so we had, and then everyone who joined us to be a sales progressor had this kind of, it was kind of a PowerPoint basically, and we would roll it out, and that was our kind of Bible for sales
that's
progression.
quite powerful, that is.
That was good. Live sales, we always call it live sales, which was the classic sales negotiator. We always said live sales and sales progression, and that was certainly just more let's just see how it goes. And it was only in this probably the last 4 or 5 years we've started a real knuckle down on that, and that's where we've got.
Do you
better
like have is it done bi-weekly, monthly?
Well, now we have quarterly sit downs with the manager of the office, and every staff member will sit down. We're an open office as well. We are.
So is that like a one-to-one sort of thing?
Everyone have a formal.
Training?
Everyone have a formal one-to-one where they will have a little bit of training. So sit down. Lee will get his whiteboard out, and everyone takes the piss because he gets his little whiteboard out.
I do love a whiteboard.
He's got his whiteboard.
I've got one at home.
We've got a little glass office, and everyone takes the piss on it, and he sits with his whiteboard, and people look like that.
Pen and paper's the best.
Yeah, that's it. So they'll do that. But we are an open. I am probably too available, but I'm very available to the staff. People can come to me with most stuff. That's probably a weakness as a manager.
No, it's never a weakness.
Well, is it slightly dangerous in terms of, let's say your manager has got the team, and then the team, some of the team, maybe do they come to you?
100%. It's that's the weakness in it. It's having that containment where you're not getting that watered down.
I think this is where the challenges can be at times. Yeah. It's having a structure without corporatizing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, and because it's your business and your heart and soul, and Chris as well, and you've got somebody in to do such an important role that you really want to be empowering this person, but at the same time, this directly affects me, and I want the best for that person. It's a very tricky one to manage and navigate.
It's getting that. It's just being able to step away, and probably something I haven't been strong enough for in the last few years, and I've certainly got strong at it. Made me happy.
Resonates.
I'm better because I'm not. I spent the last couple of years. We've had good couple of years. I was pissed off a lot of the time, and not because the staff were terrible, but I didn't feel heard in that office. And putting someone in between has allowed. They get the best out of me now. I'm not as grumpy, and I was really grumpy.
I can't imagine you being grumpy.
Yeah, there you go. You can, but no,
we all get grumpy.
Yeah, but it would be because you would just not
even
feel.
Bertie over there.
Yeah. You would just not feel heard, and now we've got that. I feel heard as well as.
So how are you going to change that dynamic slightly, or are you going to kind of carry on as it is because it's working?
I think at the moment, until I feel that me being around is a hindrance to the company, it'll stay like this. But I
think as long as the staff know the clear direction as well of whose everyone's roles is, and they respect that.
Well, I think one of those challenges, I've been too removed.
Okay.
So I've been at times I've been completely removed and just gone. I've got someone there, and I think there is a happy balance to strike, and I think it's a moving target as well. Yeah. And I think sometimes we've got to be not too hard on ourselves with that sort of stuff because it is tough running a business.
It is. It's really
it's your
tough.
Heart and soul.
And you need to take something out of it.
It's another baby, and in the nicest possible way. It's very hard to have people that care about it quite as much as you. You can get close, but it's very, very, very challenging. So training's important.
Yeah, massively.
Okay. And what about yourself with regards to sort of training? Obviously, the countrywide training you referred to earlier.
Yeah, well, I'd like to think. I used to do a lot of the training at Countrywide. Well, that's what the area managers do, don't they? They manipulate you. You could go up in the career ladder, Sam, if you go and hold a listers meeting. So I think the one thing I've done with my girls is I see when they're ready for the next step. So one of my girls is going to start going out valuing.
And what would be the training process for you with her?
Her going out to appointments, me sitting there observing her, her then going to appointments, her coming back to me, but she's got to be truthful with me of what went on at that appointment, what she enjoyed, what she struggled at, how she overcome the objection.
And would you put is there like a process that you follow, or is there?
No, not in my life.
I
just be them.
Just be them.
But I
So
remember, like, I've learned lots of my stuff from one of my managers years ago, but you put your own spin on it, you put your own personality on it. And then as you grow into it, you find your own one-liners, I find.
Yeah, it's funny
work really well.
If they go in to try and be you, they're going to fall flat on the face. They've got to be their own.
As long as the values are there to represent the business and that they feel comfortable, that they're not like being false to be someone else.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, it's funny, when you're growing something, you do need structure.
Yeah,
I think, because
ours have got, like, they've all got their own individual roles, and that's what the clients love. They're not passed from pillar to post. It's the same person doing the viewings every single time at the house.
Because do you think freedom can be dangerous for consumers?
As in for...
Because in the nicest possible way, like, if there's too much freedom,
I think it depends on the person, because if you get the one person that...
So it really comes back down to who it is.
You must have had problems with staff.
Loads.
And they can change the dynamic of an office.
We've had people that are very talented join us, and it instantly, and I'm always the optimist with it. I'm terrible. I'll interview someone else. Great. Everyone, they come out and I'm like, that's up.
I'm like that.
I'm awful.
We all are.
I'm terrible. And and they've come in, and within a week, you look at them and you think, you're going to drown it. You've got not a, and it's not that they were crap. They were good at, and they come with years of experience, and they come into our office and they look like they're drowning underwater. You think.
Because negativity can rub off on someone else, can't it?
And that's it.
Product your environment.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's tough to deal with.
I think that's one of the hardest things about running a business.
How do you deal with those challenging people that if you've got a team of, let's say, 14, using your example, and you could easily have 3 or 4 that are what you call mood hoovers?
Mm-hmm. I like that
hoovers,
though.
Yeah, they suck the fucking energy out of the room as soon as you
like you dread
you actually avoid
in.
seeing them. Those kind of people.
Yeah.
They just fucking blame everybody for everything. Yeah. There's always an excuse. Yeah. Oh, I didn't have time. And
seen a lot of them in Countrywide.
Oh right, yeah. This is where the term came from. Yeah. And then you've got some more of the radiator types.
Yeah.
People that radiate energy, good energy, positivity. But sometimes, mixing those two together can be a real challenge. And in fact, I tend to find the mood hoovers have a strong influence.
Massive.
And actually, they're so fucking good, and they work behind the scenes. And that because they're so good at manipulating situations.
In different, going from one person to another.
It's like pinning jelly to a wall, right? And trying to get the fuckers to. So it's a very hard thing to manage if you're not careful. Have you had those?
Oh, we've had a good few, and it's been really toxic at times. And I know our office looks a wonderfully fun place to work, but
I think we've all had that.
Yeah, and I've had to look at myself massively how I approach. I am a direct person. I look at it, and for years I would just be like, they're the problem. And you look at these people, and they're a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
The mates know they're a pain in the arse. They're just that person. But I've got to find a way of dealing with them. And what we found is some people are emotionally ill-equipped to deal with the conversation you've got to have with them. If there's a problem, I'm not blaming you. There's just a problem, and you don't have to take it personally. And what we found is zooming out, and I'm still not good at it. I'm still learning my way, and it's where we've brought people who are better at doing it and being a little colder and more professional about it, where I was just like bang straight in. And it's being able to zoom away and say, this person is not going to be able to emotionally deal with this conversation. Yeah. Let's find another. And if they come to you with a problem, you don't have to answer it there. You have to go away. You have to breathe, and then you have to, how are we going to do it?
It's highly emotional, isn't it?
Massive. And if someone is a type of person...
That affects you for the day. You take that home with you. You take that home to your wife.
We've had these things. We've had problems that have grown into huge problems where I've had staff members that just won't talk to me.
Yeah.
And
your own business as well.
I've met it as head on, and it's about being able to zoom away and say, this person is skilled at doing this, but they are not emotionally equipped to be able to deal with it. That's it. So it's being able to back away and say, okay, how can we get the result we want, which is looking after the client at the end of the day. And we had a repeating pattern. We had 3 again and again and again, wheeling the same role, same type of person again and again and again.
Why was that?
I have to be the problem, don't I?
Yep.
I have to be the problem.
Well done.
Yeah.
It is our responsibility.
That's it. It's me. And you look at these people and you think,
and that's why you're a business owner, because other people can't think
that's
like
the difference.
That. Of course it is.
So you look
at it. Fucking difference.
That's it. And it's being able to look at those people and say, from an outside, they're a pain in the arse. They're all a pain in the arse. But
and we've allowed it.
But I'm the constant. I'm the person that's brought this out of them. So it's just being able to
that's
say,
a real hard
take
place to get to. But it's like probably a shit analogy or an example. But if you're an alcoholic, you've got to admit you're an alcoholic if you're going to recover, right? It's the same in leadership. These problems are your fucking problems. They're of your making. Yeah. What are you going to do about it? Yeah. One of the things that I've learned over the years is the management of expectations.
Oh,
whether
God,
it's with a client
or a staff member, it's the same.
Yeah. My job is to have really difficult, honest conversations with you at times, not because I have to, it's because you deserve it.
But I think that comes with you evolving as a person.
Yeah. So that's the bit, isn't it?
I couldn't have had some conversations like this 10 years ago.
Exactly. And you look at where you are now, Mike, like 13 years ago to now. How much have you evolved?
Oh, unbelievable.
And all of those steps of evolvement, all of those developments and growth have come through you having to dive into the difficulties, look in the mirror and go, this is a problem I've created. How am I going to best solve it? And I think that's, for you listening, I promise you now.
It's off on one now.
No, but it is. Because the temptation when it's your business is to blame everybody else. I have people come to me and I say, what's the biggest challenges? And they'll go, well, I've got this person. They're a fucking nightmare, or this is happening, that's gone on, and blah, blah, blah. And all of
they're doing nothing about it.
Well, every single thing that's stopping their growth, they say is somebody else. Mm-hmm. It's not. And I have to, that's the bit where I release that little mantra. Look.
Adam Day said to me earlier on this year, we were in Edinburgh, and he said, hire slow, fire quick.
Yeah.
It's the best, yeah.
And do you have because you've clearly got your values intact, you two, with the way you want to operate your businesses. They have to be, as that's your privilege as the owner of the business, is to say, well, these are my values. This is what's important to me. So
they don't have the same values.
If they don't, and Mark Burgess he shared this with me a while ago. He said, if we don't have a problem letting people go, we give them a warning that you're not online. There's no example of you demonstrating our values. And if we have to come back again in 3 months and it's the same, we'll just, thanks very much. We'll hug you on the way out.
Because it's been made clear from day one.
It's been made clear from day one. So it comes into the attraction, recruitment, development, onboarding, reviews, whatever you want it to look like in your businesses. But that is a really clear thing that can't ever be improved or changed. It's very rare someone can change their values to fit yours.
100%.
So alleviate that problem from the outset and do what Sam was talking about at the start, which is she goes off her gut. And I think you're only 21, right? So you've got 21 years. You've got 21 years of experience in here.
Yeah.
And actually, I think most of us ignore that and we go into our head. And when you go into your head, you end up trying to justify, well, they're good,
Yeah.
They'll sort it out. Yeah. They'll be fine,
I've seen something.
I've seen enough. And what you're doing is seeing a reason why you don't want to have a difficult conversation.
Yeah. There's a huge fear from my point of view as well, from letting people go, from basically firing people, about the repercussions of that.
About what they're going to say about you.
But not even that. It's really hard employing people now. If you've been, we've had a small taste of it once. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's how vulnerable you are as a business owner
when that happens.
It's unbelievable.
Do you mind sharing that small taste?
Yeah, it was just basically.
Be careful.
Yeah, be very very careful.
You don't have to name names, but I think we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was eye opening to me. My brother always told me about it. He says employment law is a nightmare. It is so weighed in the there's many positives for it, of course, because you've talked about the culture at countrywide places. It's to protect that nonsense, but it's incredible now how you look at it and you are just basically and say they've been treated this way.
Yeah,
and
one of the reasons why I don't want to employ people other than
I think tens of thousands of pounds in a very short time of just because you've dealt with someone you shouldn't have dealt with, and it drives you up the wall.
And I think the way things have gone with the government and changing those kind of things and improving those situations for those types of people.
I'm glad you said it that way.
Because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're fucking experts. They are the mood hoovers, by the way. So if you've got a mood hoover, They are the one.
Hoover.
They are the one that they'll know the important
There's a
laws.
video of a mood hoover.
There you go. That'll be
It's
it.
great, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
well,
they
now
suck, anyway. But the point is that your livelihood, everything that you've put in, all of the energy and the blood, sweat, and the tears, which it is. This lady's super successful. Has it been hard?
So
Has it been hard?
Oh yeah.
sleepless nights.
And everyone thinks when they're an employee, you're earning all this money and it's all, you know.
Well, the tax man loves a
The
big
tax
chunk
man
of
loves,
it.
and they'll take a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's so much that you've got to balance on the inside and on the outside, and that someone just wants to have you over. It's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
But it's the life.
it is.
It's the life that we've chosen. It's the life that we're in. But it's kind of coming away from that. I think the attraction of the right people, you can clearly see how you're doing it. It must be through friendship networks.
I know. Yeah.
You must be in a lot of mum groups or something. And you're
No,
you're attracting a lot of
I don't
your
know. I just talk
friends.
to people. I think you can learn lots from people.
You can.
You can learn so much, and I've learned that this year with meeting you and a lot of the London, like I say.
The London.
But you don't. The more conversations you have with people, the more
Yeah.
the more doors open, the more opportunities are there, the more
And
you can
put yourself
learn.
out there a little bit. haven't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you're evolving and growing and you want to have this aspiration, you've got to do the things that will take
Of course
you
you
there.
have.
And I suppose from attraction and recruitment in your sort of business, do you use recruiters? Do you?
Yeah, how do you get your people?
No, people typically come to us.
Yeah,
we
I
get a
thought
lot
that
of
was-
people that
That's the
Yeah.
work,
we
it's
get a
the
lot of
good
people
work.
that say, and it's sometimes it's wrong because they'll say that looks like loads of fun, and they're just all they want to do is
But
Have
you
a
can
dog.
make that decision.
because we
on
do
it.
we have our group. It always has been, even in the ups and downs, it's always been a really close group of
Yeah,
people.
you can see.
And if
that.
you look at kind of the staff over the years, it's been real close, and I'd never want any other way. That it's been wonderful over many years, and at the minute we've got as strong as ever. Real. I mean, as much as I take them, like I took them Belfast last year because they had a good year. I'm going to take them Edinburgh this year as a group, and because it's a really good clique. But we have typically people come to you, and sometimes that's wrong because they think I just fancy.
I get
that,"
it. I
and
get
it's not
the
wrong.
mums.
Yeah,
I get because we're all mums.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I've got children and I could help you do some admin.
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
no, you've got to be the right.
But that's where you get them coming to you then.
Yeah,
because
we
they
did-
Is
see
it
what
harder for
is.
people to come into that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People say that
Which is good in some ways.
Do you find that all the other staff get a little bit like?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have some. I mean, we had a girl come and join us, and she came from she'd been an agent, I think 9 years before, and a good agent, and she came to join us because she'd seen what we do, and we just got lucky with her. She got kind of done over a little bit in a one job, and then we just had an opening, and she kind of says how daunting it was coming in
Yeah.
because everyone's such
You
a
can
close,
see
a real
the-
close,
Yeah.
clique. But it is, it's a good culture there, and there is no bitchiness, and we do stamp that out straight away. Bitch out.
Well, it's so important to
Hard with women.
to everything, isn't it?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Go on, say that
It's
again.
hard with women sometimes. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm a tomboy. I gravitate to. I like being in the men's company. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? But girls
Really?
can be very, very
Sort
bitchy.
of gossip and stuff like that.
Gossiping, yeah. And not only that, as
My
soon as-
wife, I say to her all the time, I say, "I fucking hate gossip and drama."
Do you know what it is though? I set up in 2020, and I think a year later, my best friend's a mortgage advisor, and we had the top office for a year. But it's 3 floors. It took me an hour to get from downstairs to upstairs. This is another thing. I do more work at home.
Yeah,
Genuinely, it took me an hour to get upstairs. 'Cause
Chatting
you
away.
see someone, they're telling you what happened in their life the night before, and then so and so, and
Do you think the future of estate agency is evolving into more personal agents as opposed to brands with high street offices? Not to knock you, by the way. You're doing it really
I
well.
was going to say, I think if you're going to be on the high street with a brand, I think Mike's hit it on the head, and I think that's why I respect
'Cause
you in
it's
that one,
there's
Mike.
personality.
It's you, simple as that.
Yeah.
I think the likes of Countrywide and Taylor's and Connells or whatever they are these days, because they merge, don't they? And they brand under whatever.
2 or 3 in the same town.
I think in 10 years, I think they're already slowly going.
Is it,
And I think it's social media. I mean, their social media pages are absolutely awful. And we're in a world where people now just go on social media.
well, the people that work there aren't encouraged, I take it, to build their own.
They're not
personal
allowed
brand.
to.
They're not allowed.
They're not allowed to.
Wow.
And they'll be restricted on what they can
Which,
do.
when you think about it, if you're growing a business, you're only going to grow. You know, if you want to build a business, you've got to build people.
Of course you have.
So you're taking away a massive
They're
block.
always like they're like they've just started doing some videos and they've just started doing some stories. They're always like 5-6 years behind.
Yeah.
It's not what's right for the customer.
Yeah.
So I personally think we'll be going into a world where I think a good 50-60% will be self-employed.
Yeah.
Whether that's through a business that Mike's done, whether that's the way that I've done it, whether it's just, I mean, there's a few people in EXP that are just purely just them.
Well, I've made businesses and business owners and partners, and we're going down the route of having more partners as agents and giving them the choice.
Give them some freedom.
Absolutely.
I think the more freedom you have,
the better.
I think the better they'll work.
The only thing, I think you need freedom with some boundaries.
Yes, and some people can take the piss. So it's also about the individual.
Yeah.
And that's about you as the owner bringing in the right people.
And it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because EXP is a massive machine now. I mean, you've got huge numbers of people with very different personalities.
Completely. And completely different figures. So
I was going to say
there's
that.
somebody in my downline that he sells about 2 or 3 a month.
So just say what the
But he earns
downline
60
is.
grand. So an
anyone
agent
that doesn't know.
An agent that I've brought on board, and I can mentor, I can coach them if they want that. The Ben Moore hit lucky with me. So he had me on the phone for like the first month. How do you do this? How do you work loop? What's this? What's that? Then I was off. And
do you have anyone mentoring you now?
No.
You just go for it.
I prefer to sort of put myself out there and connect with other people, maybe sometimes out the industry to learn from.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
But when we all get together, like we've just been in Miami, I'm sat there with like the likes of Tony Ruby, who I aspire to his sort of figures, but yet we run our businesses totally different. But we're sat there.
That's Tony's way of running a business.
Exactly, but then certain things that work for him then work for me. So that's where it's nice to work.
Do you think there's a risk with that model that the recruitment, because obviously you're kind of the top level. Really.
Yes.
A top level, but trust me, there's ones that are better.
No,
than
but I mean
me.
quality-wise, what you've got, what you're operating there is a good quality product. Do you think there's a risk? Because I know people who have gone to work for EXP.
And to work for themselves, not EXP.
Sorry.
They're cheating on, they're using the brand basically
Yeah,
for cheap.
okay.
For cheap
Go on,
There you go.
they're not working for EXP. But yeah, sorry.
But yeah, and
Adam, you should be proud, mate.
yeah, that's why she's in Miami. That was. Yeah, but the quality's no way. So do you think it's a risk that by this big, because EXP is everywhere at the minute. There's more every week. There's another agent. Do you think the quality is dropping off because of that? Because you got people who really shouldn't be and are just doing it because they didn't fit in an independent, didn't fit in a corporate, and this is the next.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. And I mentioned this last week.
Maybe the last resort.
That's the only
potentially, and it's mad because some people that haven't succeeded in Purple Bricks or Countrywide. So Aaron Tonks that works underneath us. I mean, the way he markets, I wouldn't market, but it works for him.
Yeah.
He got told in Countrywide, you never be a branch manager. You're not a very good valuer. Yet he is now embracing his own business. But going back to your question, one of the reasons we talked about when EXP first set up, and Adam was like, "No, you can't have staff, Sam," and I just went and did it anyway. As we all evolved, Adam's very good that when he sees an opportunity, he's like, "Right, I've got to change."
Yeah.
So we started having people leave because they're so freaking good. They didn't want to advertise on Rightmove under EXP because the more people start joining in that area, they're like, I got it.
Good work we do.
100%. And so I started getting
get the
phone calls
benefits.
like, is this house with you? And I'm like, no. And then I'd see a house go live with EXP, like in my sort of area, and the photos are shit. So then someone then resembles that to you.
Yeah.
But that's where then Adam's really good. So he's gone to the US and sort of said, like, this can't happen. I'm having people leave, really freaking good people.
Who are able to build something.
Yeah, because they're like, sorry, I don't want to build EXP's brand on Rightmove. I want my own. Because you're allowed to go and do what you want on
really
social
big
media.
move, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, then that's then when teams come in. And that was the game changer.
For you.
For me, that was...
And for others.
I lost certain things.
I was with Adam Mackay earlier this week.
Well, Adam Mackay is the first person that brought his business over.
Yeah.
And he said it's absolutely changed his whole life.
Yeah.
Because of the cost element.
Yeah.
But since the US approved that, that's been the change.
Yeah.
So in theory, you could have somebody that's in my downline that's below under me as one of my agents. Well, not under me, but it gets really confusing. He completes on about 3 or 4 a month.
Yeah.
He literally says, I work about 2-3 days max, and he pays himself 60 grand.
Well, that's great.
But that's
a lot more than you would have got.
It's incredible.
And then you've got to run what? a big office for that?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. And all the grief that comes with
And all
it.
the grief?
But then you've got people
Few
like Mark
spreadsheets,
Buchanan,
dashboards.
Tony Ruby, myself, all the ones that run it because we want to run it under our
Tony
brand.
Ruby, right. Really fabulous guy. Grantham Way.
Grantham.
He messaged me in about 2018, 2019 as I was doing these partnerships locally. And
You need to meet some of these people, Mike.
And he messaged, you should follow him. He's a really good guy. And he was asking me, what do you do? And maybe could we do something? And I was like, not really in your location. There's times in your world you think, God, I missed out there. Because he's such a good guy.
He's the most, us estate agents
Just as
have got this cocky, arrogant, what people think. Just the most down-to-earth guy going.
Such a good man. And I'm so pleased and proud.
And he always talks about how whenever you get into a conversation with someone that inspires you, you then go home, raise your game.
Yeah, totally.
And then the next time you meet someone, you're raising your game again.
That's what we need.
Being very mature and learning from one another.
100%.
Embracing each other.
It's going up together, isn't it?
And I think you could say Adam's created it, but actually the agents that have come on board have created it, in my opinion.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, you two are fantastic. I can see why you're successful. Your energy, your personality, what you've done and built. And we talked about 1% earlier on.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, I reckon you're worth double that.
Do you know, Mike, the amount of conferences and stuff I go to and other EXP agents that don't know our area and they'll follow me on socials when I tell them I'm charging 1%, like Adam McCoy was like, what the actual? Yeah. Like literally look as an outsider looking in, he's like 2% all day long.
Yeah.
And some of the conversations I have with the London lot, like I spoke with a guy from Dexter's.
Yeah.
Who apparently anyone from Dexter's are not even allowed on LinkedIn, apparently.
Is that right?
He'd barely even heard of EXP. And when I worked out the models to him, the figures on selling 3 a month, their average fees are like 7.5, 8.5 grand. He'd be earning 150 grand just by selling 3 a month.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
It really is.
But it's not for everyone, is it?
No, I can talk about this from being in the countrywide days, but you'd have some people that there's all your leads given to you. Just go out and put them on the market, but not once would they get on the phone and make it happen. And they don't want to. So
how many agents out of 10 would work in the model, do you think? From your years of experience of looking at it from that perspective, in terms of what you just said, because I think the biggest thing, people think it's going to be easier to lead gen than it really is.
I think a lot of the strong managers that have been around from the early days where 13 years you've been doing it right. So 20.
Yeah.
I was selling houses before Rightmove even existed.
Yeah, same, yeah.
So literally a dream card.
Yeah.
Is that, I don't know if that's what you had.
Yeah.
Like a yellow card where you'd write down their motivation and everything like that.
Hot boxes.
Hot buyers, folder, all in
There's
order.
Still a lot of leverage.
And a phone.
There's knowing your buyers and sellers inside out.
I sometimes think that the true old school estate agents need to do it, even if they're going into retirement, then do it, enjoy it, kind of thing.
Do you think, this is where I was going with it. Sorry, Sam, not to stop you in your tracks. I agree. But the people that they rely on the phone ringing and the emails coming in is getting more and more.
Well, this is something I spoke to Chris Watkins about, because I think the younger generation are the ones that are potentially going to change the perception of estate agents. So like the 20-year-olds coming in. And I openly say that if you've got a love and a passion for that client to do what's best for them, and you'll go above and beyond, so there's a problem, and instead of going to the boss with it, they'll try and fix it themselves.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that need to consider going self-employed or working for themselves, because there's a passion and a love there.
Yeah.
And a passion and a love and the right attitude can take you under.
Just going back to fees, because you're right, I love what you just shared there. Why aren't you charging double?
Because it is hard in the area.
It
is.
Where do you think I've heard that before?
I can't believe
Every
I'm saying
area says the same.
Well, this is something I've learned from. So Chris Watkins told me yesterday for the Property Industry Eye that my market share's gone down this year. And I was like, well, I'm not fussed about that. I've made 150 grand more because I've put my fees up. So I was doing £1,500 fees when I first started, but my minimum fee now is £3 grand.
Daniel Priestley?
No.
You should follow him. Oversubscribed.
Okay.
So basically he has waiting lists for clients.
That's what I have.
I know you do.
That I literally have
That's why I've just said.
But that's why now yesterday I went out to a house, 300 grand. I've gone in with 4.5 grand. Another local agent's gone in with 2.
Good.
So it's just trying to find the right balance. Some people will trust me and do it, and then some you've got to walk away from.
Here's my thing. People, when they give an objection, it's not always a no.
Yeah, they just want to know more.
They want you to clarify.
Yeah.
They want you to educate them. They want to know more, but more importantly, they want to know the value that you're going to bring. Ultimately, most people's goal, if they're selling and moving home, is to maximise their equity. So don't give it to somebody that reduces your equity. One of the interesting things, I was looking in, it was an agent I've just started working with. He's down in sort of Plymouth way. I was with his guys on a call yesterday, and they didn't know the average agent, what their percentage of price reductions were last year in their patch. When they found out, it was 7%.
Okay.
So they're taking 7% of an average house price in that patch was 300,000, 30 grand, right? Or 30 in the region, 30,000. And then they negotiate on average from first offer to the last offer negotiated and accepted in the region of about 11 or 12,000. So there's a 40 odd grand swing just in that alone. But you know, if someone reduces a price by 7%, the buyer doesn't then pay that asking price. Because they've done such a shit job in the marketing and the pricing from the outset, they're now chasing the buyer down. So they'll have to come down another 2, 3, 4%. But the point I'm making is I'm not here to spin my agenda on us all raising fees. But I know that you are different. Just from sitting here today, I can tell that you
And I think that's something you need to be so proud of at times.
You're so
when
good.
they compare me to another agent.
I would use both of you, and I wouldn't give a shit. You know, if it's 4 or 5%, it might be a bit of a different conversation.
Of course.
But the point is because I believe people list their house with someone they trust and they feel confident in, and that they feel confident that that person's going to get them to their outcome. And that's what you're delivering. I bet your statistics on what you list and sell are high.
Really high. 91%.
So I bet what's the
today.
average market agent in that market doing?
You know.
You should know.
I should know.
Why? Because that's who you're up against.
Yeah.
And that's
where sometimes I go into like my own little bubble and I get stuck.
Gatesy will get those stats for you if you ask him nicely. Same for yourself if you don't know. But it's one of the first places I start with an agent is you've got to know what value you bring. Because if you don't know, then the customer will never know.
Sometimes I'll do a fee scale. Well, I don't know if you've ever done anything like that, but I'll match the other agent's fee if I sell it at a certain price. But I'll demonstrate if I'm going to go and get you an extra 10 grand, I want 3 grand of that.
I think one of the things we've talked about, our area is so dense with, I mean, we're round by our office, there is rows and rows of 1930s, solid brick houses.
And they are what they are.
And the success is there. They put them on and they do sell them.
They do.
Yeah.
Some of them are shit.
It's like a shelf.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even round anything in that little round my Shirley office, anything you list around there goes. Just goes. If you do reasonable marketing on it, you will get as long as you communicate and you vet the buyers, you will get maximum market value for those people. So that is you're faced with here. If you go and say, right, it's, again, £300,000, perfect. If you went in at the moment and said, not a chance, and next week it'll be sold, and the neighbours list and the neighbour list. But I understand.
Your staff better than the other staff in the other office,
of course,
because I will openly say, like my staff,
sales progression,
well, that's the journey in itself.
Yeah, and I understand that these conversations. I understand. I'm not sitting there thinking just stack them low and do that.
I'm not saying that. No.
But there's.
But think about the less units you could deal with, but for more money.
Oh, and we have.
And that's what I've done.
We've massively done. We massively do that. The numbers we list. I mean, we're in a funny position at the minute because we improved a lot this last 12 months, but certainly that's our approach at the minute. But it frustrates me when I see these agency experts say, don't move your feet, don't move your feet.
No.
You haven't got the first about building in that little bubble. And I am so insular in our little bubble. I just know.
You should know on your gut that if that property is an opportunity.
But I still feel, and I know I get what you're saying, and I totally understand, because there is an element from the consumer's perspective. Anyone's going to sell this, and it's going to get this price.
Yeah.
I do it sometimes because if it's a really good house, I'm like, it would look good on socials.
So I do get that.
It will get me more inquiries.
Yeah.
But then my only challenge to that is, okay, well, if that's the same for everybody, that's a dangerous position to be in, right? Because the consumer's then going to go, well, it's a bit of a lottery. Whoever I get's going to get the same job done.
So how do you sit when you've got a market leader who's been 20 years in business that does reasonably low fees, and they will go in after you and they'll say, well, look at what we've done. They've got it there. They've got it up on the board. They've shown what they've done.
Well, we'll carry on
do
this
the business.
conversation
Yeah.
on the way to Starbucks. And by the way, you don't have to go to Starbucks. You didn't come all this way to go to
No,
bloody Starbucks.
I like somewhere good for food.
No, there's a nicer place than Starbucks. I don't know what it's called, but
it's
anyway.
the Wetherspoons at
But the point on fees, it is a belief thing, and belief comes from knowing your value. Knowing your value comes from doing all of the analysis, and actually, I bet you've got stories in your pipeline of sales that went through that if they were on the market with the other agent and they got to the challenging point that it got to, they would have fell through.
They don't get the marketing that you do, Mark.
And the marketing,
None of your other
the
agents.
views.
They don't.
No,
But you've got what I'm going back to about fees. It's just because I think we've got the best estate agents in the world, and all of the talk about Australia and America and all of these, it's a different place. None of them would survive some of the markets that we have to work in, because you guys have got in your area how many agents competing for the listing?
Every single time. I mean, there's 10. No, there's 11 on the high street. Yeah,
At least, same for you,
Yeah.
right? And what I'm saying is, they out there in the other countries, there's broker models whereby the fee is split between agent and agent, and everyone, it works for everyone, right? It's a different model here. You have to be so good to get to where you guys have got to today in the space of time that you've done it, and you should both be proud, extremely proud to come from.
I know.
Outside coming in.
Yeah.
But I think fresh eyes are a massive positive, but I also think sometimes it's just.
Do you ever find that the new member of staff sells the house that's been on the longest? We used to say that.
The one in the drawer.
Yeah, the one,
That one
you
at the back of the
cherry-pick
drawer.
houses.
Yeah.
The new starter would always come in and sell the longest house.
And Sam Cerrone, needs no real, further conversation around what you've achieved. It's been absolutely amazing. And if you are interested in finding out more, you should follow Sam Cerrone on her Instagram, LinkedIn, those kind of places, yeah?
Yeah.
And you guys are also on those same places, but Black and Gold's the place to go. Have you enjoyed yourselves?
I've loved it.
We
I can
could have
talk estate agency.
To be honest, we
all
could have
day.
carried on.
Yeah,
couldn't we?
go on and on, come on.
But I've got to go.
Okay.
Because I need a wee.
Okay.
Anyway, for those of you listening, you should share these episodes with people
He's smiling.
that you
Does he
think
get bored?
he doesn't get bored.
Does
Of
he
course, he
not?
doesn't get bloody bored.
He must know everything about estate agency.
Right, can you
now.
close off this show for me, Sam?
Oh God, how do I close it off?
Just say thanks for watching, subscribe, follow, share, that kind of thing.
Oh God, Matt, thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Mike, thanks for keeping me company on the
There you
motorway.
go,
Yeah. Mike, we can follow you on Instagram. It's
That's
literally
it.
Mike. It's Black and Gold.
It's Black and Gold, and Mr. Black and Gold is mine.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm self-employed with Sam. If you are thinking about going self-employed, and you want to know some tricks of the trade, and Cerrone Estates is my baby that I've built from scratch.
Promote the podcast.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
You go for your win.
that's the next step.
She's superb. What a great show, guys. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.